This is Kenneth Vance from Rooftop Videos. Now I'm going to go over my second video today, the falling away. There are many who are still thinking that the falling away has not even started yet. Nothing can be further from the truth when we face it from the scriptures. For decades, I'm just going to say decades, because I was alive during all that, okay? Spiritually falling away was definitely taking place. Deceptions grew more and more, and the churches became more and more corrupted. I mean, for crying out loud, we got preachers in mega churches wearing skinny jeans with holes in their knees. I mean, I guess, I don't know if it's sin or not, but it certainly doesn't look like a man of Yahweh up there with his hair all 2 or 3 different colors, and he's just walking like a bunch of sissies. You've seen some of those. Rather go back to the suit and tie. Now, I don't believe in ties. But, you know, this is a feminized church overall. It fell away. The men didn't become men anymore. They became feminized. The women became more masculine than the men. How about that for the day? But the falling away occurred over several decades until a huge part of the falling away, where Paul's talking about it, would come, that the king would not return till the falling away, the big part of it, before he could return. And it started. A genetic falling away. The mark is on the genetic level, like it was in Noah's day. Noah, you're perfect in your generations, your genes. Your DNA wasn't messed up, Noah. That's what he meant, as it was in Noah's day, which means the others outside the ark was corrupted. Lest I cut those days short, no flesh will be saved from this corruption, from these things here. He has to cut the days short, or no flesh will be left to go into his kingdom for 1,000 years. Plain and simple. The word falling, apostasia, is what it means, and they tried to accuse Paul as well. Hey, Paul, you're trying to cause apostasy. You cause people not to follow the ways of Moses. No, Paul was trying to clarify what Moses and the law was pointing to, the correct way of the law. Not like the foolish Galatians, but the law is a result of being saved, not to be saved. The law is not done away with, but the legalistic keeping of it, yeah. We keep it through him now, and we are to exercise ourselves towards righteousness. Yes, that applies too. People fell away though. They went into idolatry, which is why I'm going to go over more of idolatry in relation to the jibs, the vakas. Idolatry, who worship the beast in his image, took the number of his name and all that. It's all based upon idolatry, which the churches that fell away would not teach, because the law was done away with. He says, till heaven and earth pass away, not one jot or tittle shall pass away. I'd walk out my front door, heaven and earth is still out there. Unless you can prove to me otherwise. Till it passes away, it's not done away with. It's not passed away. That's the king, though, talking. Not some joker on a street corner. The guy who went up to the cross and suffered the penalty for us. That's the man who said it. He ought to know what he's talking about, and he wasn't mincing on words. That's a huge part of the falling away, because man fell into, I would have to say, the number one sin, which leads to so many others, is idolatry, which is this. They did it at Mount Sinai, which is a foreshadowing of the last days. And people were weak in the faith. They put their faith in the vakas. Remember? The gospel of the vakas. Remember the news media and the churches? All the churches that open up their doors to distribute these things? If that's not a falling away, you tell me what it is. When their DNA fell away, our DNA is our book of life. That was changed and altered. The name of Yahweh, 105665, done away and turned into, through CRISPR technology, 10566665, the number of his name. Is that not true? Yes, that's true. The third strand. It was done. I mean, I feel horrible that it happened, but he said it would. We don't see the nuclear bombs going off, so therefore prophecy hasn't started yet. He didn't say it happens like that. He says it comes as a thief in the night, sneaks up on us. Blessed are those that during the time it was coming, not just a 24-hour day, that I find watching. If they're watching, they're seeing. Not those who think they're watching, they're looking for the wrong things, so they're not watching the right things. Those who are watching correctly, blessed are those that I find watching. Because they're definitely not going to take these and go out and tell people it's not here yet, it's just a precursor. Always a precursor. It was no precursor. My video yesterday about the lockdowns and how it ties into the buying and selling. That already took place, and it might have a round two. Could, yes, maybe. Well, I'm telling you, that's definitely round one, back from 2020. There might be a round two. It doesn't say specifically they'll be killed for not taking it, but they'll be killed for not worshiping the image of the beast, the system, for not following along. That might come. But it doesn't say specifically over the mark. We can tie it into there, yeah, okay, fine. But that hasn't happened yet. People weren't killed for not taking these. But it could, they could up the ante. That's possible too. But for not following the beast system, yes, that's going to occur. That will occur. Those will not go along with whatever they have yet in store. That's going to happen. We'll have to see. We don't know exactly what the details are of it yet. We have to sit back and wait, because Scripture doesn't really tell us everything we would like to know. Just to be prepared either way it goes. And to say the martyrdoms aren't happening anyway, they are over in Islamic nations. They're beheading people every day. You don't hear the news media over here telling you this. That's been going on for a long time. That's been happening too. But that's not today. It's at the end of this video, I'll put up a short compilation that someone else made of what I believe is a confirmation from the Father of the falling away. That he's proven that it was in progress and people still ignored it. And that's people collapsing and falling over, falling away. I think that stood as groundbreaking evidence that the jibs was the genetic, the DNA part of the falling away. They spiritually took the mark, if you will, beforehand, because people didn't want to follow, believe, and make themselves one with him and his purpose. And his kingdom is the number one purpose. I don't hear anybody really talking about the kingdom itself. We're to seek first the kingdom. First the kingdom. Not second, third, fourth, or fifthly. First. And his righteousness. And then all these things shall be added unto you. So that as well. His kingdom is yet on the time schedule as well. I'm wondering where it's at. I'm sick of sitting here day after day, week after week, month after month. Can't go in there, can't do anything, have nothing to work with. People says, Kenneth, you need to try harder. With what? Try harder with what? Gotta have something to work with. What little I got is all I got. But at least maybe I can help one or two people out there not to take anything the government administers and take their word on it? No. They're liars. They're pathological liars. They're deceivers. These are Satanists. They want to drag as many people down into the pit with Satan as they can. Satan is lost, but he's going out with a bang. That's a fact. So watch this compilation at the end of this video, and you'll see what I'm saying. In the description box, I will leave a link for a 6.5 hour video about the mark. It goes into greater detail than I can ever do here with video footage that I can't give you. I would love to, but I can't. I can edit, but I don't have the ability to do that. Maybe someday in the future, I don't know. But the falling away has already started. It's not yet to begin, as many are thinking. It already has been here. Still going on. It took some time. We're 5 years into the DNA part of the falling away, where it's unredeemable. And that's the sad part. So I'm not making light of this. I know everybody knows somebody that took these. But don't forget that millions took the saline, the watered ones, the fake ones. They had to, because at the end of this video, you see why. They couldn't have millions and millions of people falling over like at the end of this video here. It would have been too obvious. So they had to roll it out in stages. Is that the reason why there was boosters? At first they would give tons of people the salines while the others are real, and then maybe the boosters was the real thing, or who knows what. I just trust that anyone who is the fathers did not take these. So I can't judge anyone whether they're saved or not, or can repent or not. One thing I can say is, at least try it. If you did take these, you might have taken the watered ones, the salines. Do you not think the Father knew about that? He says he is strong enough to deliver the godly out of temptations. Hopefully I'm not taking that out of context, but that's how I can take it in this case. Hopefully I applied that right. But the falling away has already been going on. And now we're awaiting the big stuff. Why it's going so slow, I don't know. It just is. Kind of like a peace and safety and sudden destruction comes upon us. But if you know people who haven't taken these, it's our responsibility to say, don't take it. It's the mark. They might try to put us in the category of the lunatics and the Fruit Loops. I've had that happen to me, and so many people come against me. I've received so much hatred over this. But there's no other choice. Either I speak or it's on my head. I can do very little. I mean, I'm censored. I don't get out to many anyhow, but for the few that do, I have to say my piece.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press Data Download. Brought to you by Pfizer. This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.